Hello everyone, hello new traders, hello old traders, rich spirits, it's me Krasmir Panayotov back in the channel with another video, weekly analysis on the forex charts. In this video I want to share with you my views about some of the most traded pairs, so let's analyze these forex charts. We will check out also gold, Bitcoin and some stock indexes on the US market. So it will be interesting. Now, first I want to start with the Euro USD as the most traded pair in the world and most interesting for me right now at the moment. Now, what we can see, guys, in this chart is reached resistance level which got broken today. But how exactly this happened? Let's move to the 4-hour chart so we can analyze this well. Now, first of all, we had a strong impulse to the upside after the elections, which have ended with a pullback, with a strong engulfing and a nice correction to the 50% zone area of the Fibonacci corrections. Now you can see that. Also, then we had a second attempt to break the resistance, again unsuccessful. We created this double top here, which put the price back to these previous lows and this mini support and resistance which we had right here. Okay, then the price made a third attempt to break the resistance, and again it was unsuccessful. We had a rejection candle in Friday, and today with the new trading week we had this push to the upside which looks like is breaking the resistance. Now I expect we to see a push to the upside to this next resistance area, which is where exactly around these highs over here. So this for me is a nice resistance. And why do I think that this can continue to the upside? Because if we move to the 4-hour and check out the chart very good, we can see this inverted head and shoulders formation, which can be not only reversal when it's on a downtrend, but also continuation when it's in uptrend. So let's move to the 1-hour so I can show you better. You have the left shoulder here. Let me mark it somehow with triangle. This. Okay, so this is your first shoulder. Now the next. So we broke above the neckline. Now we can see some pullback to the neckline of the head and shoulders and then continue to the upside. But how much exactly? As much as is the height of the head and shoulders pattern. So we take the height, we apply it, and we see that we easily can reach this resistance zone. So this will be my take on this pair. Okay guys, let's now check out from there what can happen from there. From there we can see some real nice rejection and a push to the downside, because you see this hidden trend line. It can be once again respected with all these lows and all these highs, and it can act again as a resistance, and we to see another further push to the downside. Or if this continues so strong, we can see even a push to this high over here, the ultimate high on our chart. Okay, that's it for this market, guys. And here also guys, you can see the pattern called ascending triangle. It looks like this. Okay, so here we have 3 attempts to break the resistance. One is here, another here, and another here. And when we break out, we can expect a move even nearly as big as is the size of the whole triangle. So we can really, depending on this pattern, we can even see a push to the upside to this previous high, this resistance zone back here. So have in mind this when you're trading the Euro USD. Now let's switch to the Euro Gbp and see what we got there. Okay, we are in a strong downtrend, so we reached a support area, so we can have a pullback to this previous resistance, but we can also continue going down with this strong momentum. Have in mind this, watch the 4-hour and the 1-hour charts for further confirmations. For now, I still look at the chart as very bearish. Okay, let's check something else. This is Eur Jpy, and what I have marked here is a trending channel to the downside, which if gets respected, we can reach again this low support area. Also, if we pull back to this previous resistance area and we break it, then we'll have the head and shoulders pattern with neckline here, left shoulder, right shoulder, and the head. So we can continue even further to the previous resistance area. But before that, we're still trending bearish. So keep in mind these guys when you're trading this pair. We still have this trending channel, so from here we can respect the trend line and continue bearish again to this previous support. Let's move to the next one, and the next one today is Usd Chf, where we again have this ascending triangle, which if gets broken, the price should go up higher. But a lot of institutions can be closing long positions on euro, and we can see a pullback from this area to where? Probably to this support and resistance back here. You see how multiple times in the past it acted as a good support and resistance area. Let's move to the daily and see how we are doing there. Okay, we had a downtrend, then this strong push, now consolidation. It's a good push, by the way, but before we continue moving upwards, we need, in my opinion, a little bit of correction. When we have this move, we can look for buy opportunities around this area and look for something for the long term. But now, here we have a lot of resistances from the previous highs, so here I wouldn't hurry up for taking a buy. Let's check the daily trend. Okay, we had a downtrend and we kind of breaking it right now. So in many of these cases, we need a pullback, a retest of the trend line before a continuation to the upside. Let's draw the other trend line, which is now active. Okay, so we may need that in the future. Also, here we had another trend line which was broken already, matching these highs, and here these highs, and even this high over here. Then consolidation, retest of this trend line, and breakthrough. We are slowly, in my opinion, shifting to a bullish trend, but we have to be patient and see what's going on here. Let's move to the next chart, and this is the promised Eur Usd chart. Now what I see here is a uptrend. As you can see, the price is still moving pretty bullish, but also we can see a strong push to the downside, so we are in a downtrend for a few weeks. Now I have marked few interesting zones of support and resistance, and on the 4-hour we can see that after this bearish trend we have the so-called triangle pattern, or a symmetrical triangle pattern, which can result in or continuation to the downside or a pullback for a correction. And this is what I expect for this pair. Now, how we trade these triangle patterns? We wait for a breakout below or above the trend lines of the triangle. So let's zoom in and try to see that. We had a break below these trend with a candle close here. Now on the 4-hour you can see that the price rejects all this breakout, so it may appear to be a fake breakout or a false breakout, or however you gonna call it. So this can result in a push in the opposite direction to the upside. So have in mind this when you're trading this pair, guys, or when you have such cases. Now usually how we trade this triangle, when we see a breakout below or above the trend lines, we take a trade. So here we closed below the trend line, so usually we take a sell with a stop loss somewhere here, or if you're more conservative you can set it above the upper trend line, and you take profit nearly as much as is the size of the triangle pattern. So your take profit target can be somewhere here. So here you can see a nice risk to a nice reward for this trade. But if you have such a rejection, then probably it will hit your stop loss now and the price can go back higher. Now, of course, with such a rejection, you can try and the opposite, to set a buy after this candle close with a stop loss below these candles here and take profit target. First can be on this resistance of the trend line, and the second most profitable target can be the size of the whole triangle. So you apply it after a potential breakout here and you take profit somewhere around this area here. Okay, simple as that. If this was a false breakout. Now let's go back, zoom out. If it's just a retest and the price continue to the downside, then first it will test these lows over here and these lows over here, and if it breaks this resistance, it will go down probably to the 1.59900 zone area, or it can make a pullback first again to these resistances of the triangle and only then continue to the downside. Or of course, sometimes it will fail and it will go to the upside. Okay, that's all for this pair. Now it can be a little bit confusing to the beginner traders, but you have to understand that Forex is all about probabilities and you have to calculate the probabilities. For example, now you see that this candle starts shrinking, so it can close somewhere here. It can be just a sign of continuation to the downside. And you have to analyze these probabilities and make decisions based on the chances that you get with these trades. And more about this we will talk in the next videos. Now let's see Euro CAD, and what we have here is a pattern called falling wedge. And usually it's traded the same way as a triangle. We wait for a breakout above this trend line or below this trend line. So that's the only thing we do. Now let's mark it again and see what's going on here. Now here you have one M pattern or a double bottom pattern, which if gets respected, we can see a momentum to the upside, probably to these highs over here. And if we break this resistance of the trend line, we can see a push probably to this weekly resistance area back here. So this can be nice. And also guys, you see these wicks on the weekly chart, that's pin bars, that's a continuation science. So I personally would look bullish on this market. But of course everything is possible. We can see another push to the downside to test these lows over here. And that's for the Euro CAD pair. Now let's move to the USD pairs and see first what's going on with the Gbp USD pair. On the Gbp USD I have marked some nice support and resistance areas for you, and I wanted to remind you this channel which have formed recently on Gbp USD. Now it gets broken, so as I have expected, we can see a push to this upper resistance, and from there of course we can see some bearishness to make a correction of all this move to the upside. So taking it from this impulse, if it closes here, let's make a Fibonacci, let's say it closes over here, it can pull back to the 50% area where it will find a support from this trend line here, or to the 61%, that's also possible. This is far away in the future, guys. If we continue to the upside, of course in every moment this resistance can be respected, the zone can be rejected, and we can see a pullback even earlier, probably to this mini support area right here. Okay guys, this is pretty much all for the Gbp USD. It's moving very bullish, especially after choosing the Biden president of the USA. So we'll see what's going on here. Now this is USD Jpy on the weekly chart, and what we have here is another big fat triangle pattern, if you can see, which is still going bearish, and this can continue for weeks, guys. You see guys that this candle, this push to the upside was very quickly corrected and recovered. So the JPY is still very strong. We can continue to this low area here. First we'll test this low here and probably see some pullback to this resistance area, and from there we can see a push to the downside. This is what I expect. Or if this following wedge pattern gets respected, we have to now adjust it a little bit if we still want to trade with it. Okay, it's already a strong downtrend channel. So yeah, this probably will continue bearish for a while. Maybe we'll see first some pullback to the channel or to the resistance zone, and then continuation to the downside. Okay guys, that's it for this market. I don't trade it, so I will not focus on it so much. Now here on the USD Chf, we're still in a downtrend based on the daily chart. And when we zoom in on the daily chart, we can see this. We have to again readjust the downtrend because it have a new values which have to be considered. And again, another triangle pattern. You see how often it is, guys. So here the things are clear. If we break above, then we move probably to this resistance. If we break below, then we are going north. And that's it, guys. Wait for a break above or break below these borders of the triangle for taking a trade, and wait for a daily candle close. I think that we will see very soon such breakout down or up. Okay guys, that's it for now. Let's move to the next pair. USD CAD downtrend, recently broken uptrend. Let's see what we have here. Strong rejection here. We are continuing with the downtrend. Let's move to daily. Now here we are at a support level, so we can have some pullback to this resistance here. Or if we break through, we're going to the next support area around 1.28. 0. And that's it for this market. Also, you can check out this unusual head and shoulders pattern with these left and right shoulders, which can also be respected, and we can see some even further push to the downside. Okay guys, let's move to the next pair. And what we have, New Zealand dollar, US dollar. Now here is another overextended head and shoulders pattern. I personally don't believe so much in these head and shoulders because they don't look so good. But we can clearly see that we are in a strong uptrend. Okay, so soon we can have some retest of this support area, and from there another push to the upside, probably to this resistance zone area right here. Also right now we are in a resistance area, so this scenario is very possible to happen. But that's the weekly chart, so let's move to the daily and see what's going on there. A strong rally to the upside. Now I have shared with you guys about a trade which I took on the New Zealand CAD, and they pretty much correlate with each other. Now let me show you the New Zealand CAD trade. I have told you about a trade which I have taken as a buy from this area because of the head and shoulders here, left, right, head and shoulders, and this pennant pattern which you can see here. Okay, this is the so-called pennant pattern. Okay, but I have took profit here because I wasn't patient enough. The plan was to take profit at the next resistance zone, because what is a pennant pattern? You can trade it just by taking the height of the pattern, applying it after the breakout, which happened here, and take profit at the top of this area. So I got scared. I thought that we'll correct here, and if it happened I would also be profitable, because I was planning to buy again from the support and to see this continuation to the upside. Unfortunately, such correction didn't happen. It can happen this week, but for now it didn't happen, so the price just continues and rallies to the upside, and I have missed half of this trade, but still a good experience because I really was focused on this trade. We had a nice head and shoulders reversal pattern here, then the pennant pattern in play, strong momentum. I had to hold on to this trade. Now let's see AUD USD and see the next ascending triangle here. You see that if we break above, we're going up. If we break below, we'll probably test these lows here and maybe even fall lower. But this pair, guys, oh, this is the 1 hour chart. Okay, so on the daily we're pretty much after a flag pattern, this triangle going on here. So this trend should continue, in my opinion, until this green resistance. Okay, and this pair very good correlates with gold. Let's check out gold. Now on the gold you see the same flag pattern. Unfortunately, still early to say if we break out from it or not. It's still looking very bearish, and in my opinion gold will try to test these lows here, because I was waiting for this for so long time and it never happened. Now currently we're in support area, so exactly the opposite can also happen. We can see a push to this previous resistance area, and only if we break it we can look for some further bullish moves. For now it looks very bearish, especially after the vaccines news announcements. I think it will test the 1800s zone area. Okay guys, that's pretty much for this market analysis. Let's check out also the Bitcoin, which is really the bump here. And what you can see is a strong bullish market. You can say super strong. And let's check the weekly chart. Okay, so we are now at the weekly resistance around this previous high. So from here we can see a massive pullback to probably this highest area here, or even this high here. So this is very likely to happen. If you match here the uptrend, you can check out that this can happen very fast and find some support around this trend line and around these previous highs. So this would be interesting to see. But very often when we have such a massive push to the upside, we can see even a breakout from the resistance on the weekly chart and another bullishness. How much exactly, nobody knows, depending on the greed of the people. So as more greedy the people are, the bigger will be the push to the upside if we break the ultimate height on the Bitcoin. And this will be beautiful and funny to watch, because I wouldn't take risky trades on the cryptos because I really don't understand them quite well, but I see a lot of potential in these future charts. Let's see how we'll play here around this zone. So this is a strong bullish momentum. I think it will break the resistance. But if it don't, then I would look for buying opportunities on this zone. Let me mark for you. On this zone. And it can drop even lower, guys. You never know. Maybe it can retest these lows here or these lows. So here you have a number of support and resistance areas which can be respected again. Okay guys, thanks for watching this video. Let's make just a quick check on the US30 and some stock indexes. Now we had a breakthrough the resistance here and above the ultimate high, so we can continue bullish. This is what usually the stock market indexes do. They just go higher and higher and higher. If you go back in the past, we only go higher on monthly, on weekly, so that's pretty cool. And I hold a buy trade here, so I expect to see some new high on the US30. But if we respect this resistance and we pull back to the lower support, I expect this pullback to end here, or of course it can go even lower, but I think it will drop to here if we go bearish. If bullish, I'm looking for a new high. Okay guys, this is all for this video analysis. I hope you have learned something interesting. I hope it was just useful for you and you have a great successful trading week. Now if you have any questions for me, just write me in my Facebook profile. If you want to subscribe to this channel, on the bottom right corner there is a subscribe button. If you just want to share it with friends, I don't mind that. Okay guys, see you in the next videos, and for now, peace, successful trading.